when you're confronted, the best defense is an offense. You go on the attack. That's how I do my homework. Yeah, that's exactly. You pay attention. When I know someone's going to bring an argument, I not only respond, but I turn it against them and then decimate their objection. Yeah. This is actually Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. You want me to show you how astonishing, how amazing God's true word is in comparison to Muhammad and his God? 2,200 years before the Quran. This is what the God of Moses said to Moses. This is what the God of Moses said to Moses. 2,200 years before the Quran. Brother, if you don't mind, post Deuteronomy 21. Deuteronomy 21, and this is in my article, verses 10 to 14. Deuteronomy 21, verses 10 to 14. This is in my article. So I want to read to you what even scholars say about this passage. Deuteronomy 21, verses 10 to 14. Guys, pay attention. The God of Moses, 2,200 years before Muhammad. Look what he said. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive. Right? Now watch this. And you seest among them, you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, that you want to marry her. Then thou shalt bring her home into thine house. Watch. She shall shave her head and pare her nails. Shave her head and pare her nails, right? Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. She shall put the raiment of her captivity off, take her clothes off in which you took her captive, so she doesn't be reminded of her captivity, and she'll remain in thy house, and she will bewail, mourn her father and mother for a full month. You don't touch her for a month. And after that, thou shalt go into her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. She's not your sex captive. You don't sleep with her and then sell her off. You desire her, you honor her, and marry her, and make her a wife. Verse 14. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, let's say after you marry her and it doesn't work out, then thou shalt let her go. Wherever she wants to go, send her wherever she wants to go. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. Wow. Do you see the difference between the God of Moses and the God of Muhammad? You find a beautiful captive woman, you take her home, change her clothes, the clothes that she was taken captive in, shave her hair, trim her nails, signs of mourning, give her a whole month to be alone to mourn. And after that month, you marry her, and you don't dishonor her. And if it doesn't work out, like others, like Israelite women, maybe not work out, you divorce her, send her where she wants, but she's not your property. You don't sell her. The only reason why Muslims will wait before sleeping with a captive woman, Miss V, I'm glad you mentioned it. The only reason why a Muslim will wait before marrying a captive woman is to see if she's pregnant. So that if she's pregnant, they know they're not the father of the child. Because then she becomes Walad. If they get her pregnant, she becomes Walad, the mother of their child, right? So that's the only reason why they lay hands off of her. So if we take a captive woman, I'm a Muslim, it's not I can't sleep with her right away. Wait to see if she's pregnant. Because if she's not, sleep with her. Because in case you get her pregnant, now she's Walad, the mother of your child, even though she's your captive. So notice in Islam, you don't wait in order to give her time to mourn. That's not the reason. She doesn't matter. You wait to make sure she's not pregnant by you. So if she's pregnant by her husband, then you let her give birth to the child. Whereas in Deuteronomy, you give the woman a full month for the specific reason of allowing her to mourn. And it's not talking about captive women who are married. Okay, guys, do you see the difference between the God of Moses and the God of Muhammad? The God of Moses says, when you take a captive woman, you do not rape her, you don't have sex with her and sell her off. You honor her, by letting her mourn the dead for a whole month, shave her head, pare her nails, change her clothes, and then marry her and love her as a wife, giving her the status of an Israelite woman. I want you to remember this verse. It's Titus 1:15. To the pure, all things are pure, but to the corrupt and unbelieving, nothing is pure. Their very minds and consciences are corrupt. Someone who is purified by the blood of Jesus, when he reads Numbers 31, 17, 18, not just 18, the Alzheimer's are kicking in. Numbers 31, 17, 18. They will understand this is mercy and compassion. But when a Mohammedan who's defiled, like their prophet reads it, he sees nothing but lust and sexual perversion. Numbers 31, 17, 18. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man intimately. But all the girls who have not known man intimately, spare for yourselves. All the girls who have not known man intimately, spare for yourselves. Now let's read verse 18. Numbers 31, 18. Let's post it. Numbers 31, verse 18. Okay. But all the girls who have not known man intimately, spare for yourselves. Now, can you show me where it says that these girls you're sparing is for sex? Can you tell me where Numbers 31, 17, 18 says, you spare the young girls for sex? Number two, do you understand why God ordered the slaughter of the Moabites, the Midianites, and the women who had known men? Do you understand the context or no? Because to understand Numbers 31, you got to read Numbers 25 and Numbers 31 together. The reason why God commanded the slaughter is because the Moabite, Midianite women enticed the Israelites to commit sexual orgies with them and worshiping Baal. You with me there? Read Numbers 25, Numbers 31. And this was also done at the instigation of Balaam, the false prophet. That's why he got killed too. Okay, understand the context. A group of Moabite, Midianite women enticed Israelites to have sexual orgies with them, perverted sexual relations in the worship of the false god Baal. So what God is saying is, punish them, especially the women who are married, who know man intimately, who are used of the devil to entice Israelite men to defile themselves and sin against God. Punish them, but spare the young girls. Do you know why? Because the young girls are innocent. They didn't entice the men to sexual orgies and worshiping Baal. So what was an act of mercy on God's part, when it comes to a Muslim, in the hands of a Muslim, becomes a text for sexual perversion. Do you see why Titus 1:15 applies to them? Titus 1:15, to the pure, all things are pure, but to the corrupt and unbelieving, nothing is pure. Their very minds and consciences are corrupt. What was an act of mercy? Spare these young girls. They're innocent. They haven't enticed the men to sexual orgies and worshiping Baal. Spare them, adopt them into Israelite community, teach them the ways of Yahweh, and when they're mature, they'll marry Israelite men and have children for Israel, as they're now engrafted into the commonwealth of Israel. But all the girls, those are the little ones, who have not known men intimately, spare for yourselves. Spare for yourselves so you can defile them sexually? No. Bring them into the commonwealth of Israel. Raise them as your daughters. Introduce them to the God of Israel. And when they're mature and they marry an Israelite man, they will produce children for the God of Israel. And you want proof these girls can't be defiled? You understand the passage is saying, spare them not because you can sexually ravage them. As an act of mercy on these young girls who did nothing to entice this Israelite men into sexual perverted acts, orgies, and worship of Baal. Did you get that? You know how I know they can't defile those young girls? Do you know how I know they can't defile those young girls? Because the same God of Moses also told Moses what you read in Deuteronomy 21, 10-14. And what did God say? She can't be a little girl. Because now notice the word is different. There was little girls. In Deuteronomy, it's women, meaning women mature enough that you marry them, not have sex with them, defile them, and sell them off. Deuteronomy 21, verses 10 and 14. How do I know that the Israelites cannot ravish these young girls? Because the same God of Moses said this to Moses. Just because it's written later doesn't mean it wasn't known earlier orally. Because what Moses wrote down, he would have preached orally. He would have told them the laws and then written them down. Okay, so what does he say? When you go out to the battle against your enemies, and the Lord your God deliver them into your hands, and you take them away captive, and see among the captive a beautiful woman. Now, go look at the Hebrew. It's not the same word. Girl in Numbers 31, here it's women. Why? Because it's a woman who's mature enough to be married. Those were young girls. They were minors that you take in, treat as daughters, and raise them, making them part of the commonwealth of Israel. When they're mature, then you marry them off. And see among the captives a beautiful woman, and have a desire for her, and would take her as a wife for yourself. Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall also remove the clothes of her captivity, and shall remain in your house, and mourn her father and mother a full month. And after that, you may go into and do what? Go into and do what? Rape them? No. Be her husband, she'll be your wife. It shall be, if you're not pleased with her, then you shall let her go wherever she wishes, but you shall certainly not sell her for money. You shall not mistreat her because you have humbled her. You caught it? Go read the text. Here, let me give it to you. What's the word here for woman? Let's see. Hold on. So the only reason why I stopped, this is related to the Quran. That's the only reason why I'm addressing Numbers 31, 17, 18. It is related to the Quran. So you see how amazing the God of Moses is, who's the God who became Jesus of Nazareth, unlike the God of Muhammad. Remember, this law of Moses, 2,200 years before Muhammad. Ishat. Ishat, the plural of Ish. See, Ishat, the plural of Ish. Isha, I'm sorry. Ishat, the plural of Isha, because Isha comes from Ish. Here it is. Okay, take here. Just let's go here. Ishat, the plural of Isha, which comes from Ish. That's where my confusion came in. Please, Holy Spirit, save me and illuminate me, not to make any mistakes, to glorify Christ. Now, let's see the other. Notice here, you'll see the word. Go here and look. It says the young woman. Young. Notice the qualifier, young. That's why it's girls, because they are young. Notice that qualifier is not in Deuteronomy 21, 10 to 14. Khatab. Okay, there it goes right there. The young woman. Okay. So when you go and see, go look at the word young woman. Here it goes. Here's the word khatab. So you know I'm not making it up. There you go. Little ones. Little ones. So they're not women, they're little women. Girls. Little ones. Go see how that word is used. Little ones. So the difference is, in Deuteronomy 21, it's Isha, Ishat, plural, but without the qualifier, young. These women are said to be young. The qualifier is there. So they're girls, not women. Why the difference? Because in Deuteronomy 21, they're women, they're mature enough to get married. Here they're girls, young women, young girls. Why? They are too young, premature, immature. I don't want to use the term immature because I'm not saying they're mentally handicapped. And therefore, you show them mercy by bringing them into the household because they were not guilty in enticing the Israelites to commit sexual orgies with them in the worship of Baal. Everyone got it? I spent a lot of time here. I'm embracing this fact. We're hammering it, right? So again, let me repeat it, the final point so it sinks in. Why did God say in Numbers 31, 17, 18, spare the young women? Because in the context, read Numbers 25, read Numbers 31, the mature woman who were sexually active enticed the Israelite men to commit sexual immorality with them, orgies with them in their worship of Baal. But these young girls, these little girls, had nothing to do with their sin. So God says, spare them, because then you can engraft them into the commonwealth of Israel. They'll be given the status of an Israelite woman. They'll be taught the law of Yahweh. They'll come to know Yahweh, fall in love with Yahweh, and then produce children for Yahweh, increasing the covenant community.
Great teaching, Sam. Thanks for refuting Islam once again. And for more clips like this, go ahead and like and subscribe. You know the deal. Go ahead and share on social media platforms, as well as comment down below. Going over to Sam's channel as well. That's the most important thing I want you to do. Go subscribe over there if you haven't been sent by him already. Go on over and support his channel. Full-length video to the session will be down in the description box, as well as another way to support him. I got a little thing called the Trinity Shop. It's a merch store. Go over there and cop some gear if you want. Support Sam's ministry. All proceeds go to him. And as always, my name is Jay, and all praise to the one true triune God. Amen.